strange time right now. It's
Yeah.
like there's so many. Did you see what I shared on the on our face on our group?
The UP thing.
Yeah, man. Like kanang it's it's weird because it's in a way unprecedented in a sense nga, you can't really you're not supposed it's a protest, you know?
Yeah.
And then in the guise you know, of safety and everything, that's when they get them. Yeah, it's so
Well,
strange. If you look at the pictures, if
mm,
you look at the pictures, if you look at the pictures, the protesters
Uy.
were were, were actually, far. I wasn't there obviously, but if you look at the pictures, the protesters were far apart from each other, and then it like nothing seemed weird about. And then of course, then all the police guys came, and then they're the ones knowing I'm tapok kayo.
y- yeah. It's kind
Pwede
of weird
mag-request.
because, like, in hindsight, like, just speaking in terms, because Carlo mentioned na
Up,
kanang hi
Jer?
Jer.
Yo. Hello, pwede mag-request?
Sure, bye. What's up? What song
Shout,
do you
shout
want to
out,
play? Shout
Wala,
out,
wala.
shout out to Mel.
Pwede
shout
ba
out,
dali?
shout out sa mga utangan, mamayad na mo.
Shout out sa mga protester karon nasa kuan. Unsa yung unsa mo
Bye.
card?
That's so. Kato, like, so these kids in UP were protesting, and then did you see the video? Did you see the video?
Ang
It
nakita ano
seems
kay
like
nanagan na
go.
mo
What
sila.
did you see? So
Kato nanagan sila.
it seems like this is based off the internet, and obviously I wasn't there, but it seems like these kids were protesting that anti-terror bill, and then these cops came and arrested the kids. So
Unsa may
yeah,
grounds
as you
ba?
know, well, one other thing I learned was apparently cops are not allowed to go inside UP. Did you know that?
Wala. Nga naman. Like sa UP or na or any private nga or like land.
No. Apparently, there is some sort of law or agreement that was signed in 1989 or something
Hmm.
that the cops are not allowed to go inside UP. Like they're not allowed.
Mo
Like
ba?
it's some sort of
So
I
law
forgot
siya.
what it's called.
It's like antiquated law that was
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
cool at the time because they're
yeah.
UP.
So that's why like UP has all of the protests because there are quote unquote safe.
Sure. The sanctuary.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Well, they need to lawyer up.
No, so that's what happened. So, okay, look, everything I said here is basically what I read on Twitter of the internet. So the lawyer went there and then
Mhm.
asked them what are the charges,
Oh.
and then the
Yeah.
cop the cop Dow said no charges yet. They are still waiting.
Oh.
So they got them. They got
Yeah.
them without any charges yet.
Yeah, so it's an unlawful arrest.
Yeah. So in the end, they charged them with like a mass gathering or something. No?
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody in the comments will, if somebody's watching, maybe they can clarify. But basically, they got them for a mass gathering, and that's what they were, that's what they were charged with. The
Mm.
For me, the interesting thing is, oh look, my kids are here. See, I told you, as the day gets
Ay,
older, then there will be more distractions.
This
Hey,
comes in.
hmm?
no.
It's
I
not
mean,
of any
I mean-
interest to me. I will leave now.
Oh,
Wala
man,
kids
yeah.
sa motel mo. Koy.
No, no kids allowed.
No, the
Maybe some other room. Not mine. Not
Alright.
mine.
Just checking.
The-
No.
You
the
hear
interest-
that, world? No kids in my room.
Um,
most old
Not
joke
a
used to be
pedophile.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Now
Ah,
that's how you virtue signal.
mm.
anyway.
Imagine like first date going out to like having dinner with a chick and you just go, not a rapist.
I still put this out there.
Is that
Yeah.
your new move now in
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
pandemic?
Yes,
Let's just get things
people
out of the
seem to be into
way.
it. People seem to be like pondered onto. Like they want you to explain to them how good a person you are. So I'm just gonna go with the two heavy hitters.
Mm.
Not a pedophile, not a
Not rapist.
rapist.
Mm.
Your bar is low.
Yeah.
Your bar is low.
But, bay, that's a, di ba, kuan mo na bay, kanag set the bar low para when you do even like a little thing on top of the bar, indot kayo result.
No, that's my technique.
Undertaker.
When I no,
You don't rape
that's
and you
like a
don't do
serious.
kids.
No,
That's your
no, no, no.
technique.
Seriously,
That's a
like
good technique.
like when Kamista first like got together. So like
Yeah.
like you have like a celebration or something, and then I would go to like a not so fancy restaurant, or if because you kind of have to, if you start off like really fancy and really nice
Mm.
like at a certain bar, and then the next time you do it, it has to be
Jollibee
about
mo.
the same. It has, yeah, bye. I've had a Valentine's in Jollibee, I think.
Good move.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Hey, oh, married, two kids.
it worked.
Yeah, bye.
Ikaw, Jer, what unsa may take ni mo na ba? Setting the bar low to amplify or accentuate the little victories.
Sure. I think common na siya nga theme sa confident mga may mong ka-work with, di ba? Like, yung mga expectation set ni mo really low, kaya para yung hatag ni mo sa real thing, mo blown away and stuff. I think that's a good strategy, right? Not only in dating.
Seriously, is that something that's in your workplace?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that book that Mo recommended, what you call this, Never Split the Difference by Rich Voss, it talks about that. Now, when like negotiating daw, you always start with something to kind of set the bar low. And like stand-up comedians do this. So if you watch a lot of stand-up comedians, they always start by what do you call it?
Self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating jokes. It's just a strategy, a psychological strategy to get everybody on your side, so they don't feel that you're a threat. So you just go like,
that
"Oh yeah,
makes-
no, I'm a piece of shit."
That makes sense, by like because you want them to be, especially in comedy. Comedy is really interesting, and I wish we had that here. I told you guys, diba, nga murag before the lockdown, there was some guy who was going to organize like a comedy night, like a real stand-up comedy night here in Cebu. And yeah, I kind of wanted to watch, because comedy is one of those things that like I picture myself. Oh, that'd be fun if I could do it, but like I know good, kadigid mada.
Yeah, it's a
Practice
battle
on
of
the fire.
wits.
Well, like yeah, apparently that's what comedy is, diba? Like practice. So that's the interesting thing now. If you listen to all of these comedians and their podcasts, kay murag, they're all not practicing. they're all like, they're all going to be. So when you think we can do comedy again, you know? So they're all gonna suck basically.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of weird here because bars are open, but you're not allowed to dance, and you have to sit down.
Really?
And there's a limit of 100 people per venue. Yeah.
Like, basta comedy show, right? Or like any...
Sige, wait. Why don't we start there? So, Koy, di ba New Zealand ba eh? Wala na may, you're in New Zealand, wala na may coronavirus nga ra, di ba?
I think like one active case or something like that. I don't know. I'm not
Just one.
keeping attention with it, but yeah, it's really good. The main reason kay kanang geography, like it's an island in the middle of nowhere, and then all they had to do to contain the spread was just shut the borders. No planes coming in, and then isolate everybody who got sick, and then hope they don't get reinfection. That's it.
Cebu's doing the same thing, but...
Sorry.
Yeah, but Cebu ba? Cebu is, but like we cannot, Cebu is a lot more populated than New Zealand, and I guess like the people in New Zealand, they're richer, so they don't live in like, you know,
Close
uh,
quarters, yeah.
yeah, like kana lagi like the example in Barangay Luz na in
Mm.
one house there's like 30 people, and yeah, their their dining area, their living room is basically the streets.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of my new like hindsight, nisha. So it's gonna sound like really like cynical, pero so basically there's two ways that like people went about it. So how everybody else did it, everybody quarantined, and then the economy basically got fucked. And then there's how Sweden and some other countries did it. Now, if you're sick, or if you're afraid to get sick, stay home, and then we'll mandate something in government mandated. Now your employer can't fire you for those reasons. But if you're well, just carry on, and the economy um, you know, doesn't die. The thing is that not a lot of people know that ang mechanisms of virus, like we don't have a cure for viruses yet. There's no cure for, like, once you have the flu, you have that for life. And then basically it has the thing with the flu lang, it has a life cycle, like usually 14 days. And then it stays dormant in your body. Now, when it's dormant, it's not necessarily you can like infect other people, but if your immune system goes low, then it can flare up, and then proliferate, and then you can infect other people. You get sick yourself. That's the mechanism of the virus. Now, I think the whole world just kind of approached it in a way. If we just isolate everybody for a month, and then we can control it, and then everybody's not sick anymore, and it will be back to normal, which is not the case, right? Like the old people and the vulnerable people will not automatically get immunity if we like self-isolate for a
Wait,
month.
my question, let's say Sweden, that's what they did. They did the whole herd immunity thing. So what's
Yeah.
up with them now? What happened?
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure, but in theory, the same amount of people will die over a period of time. It's just that Sweden did it, very quickly because they
I
didn't
know,
isolate.
but the argument there is they wanted to keep it keep the hospitals from getting overloaded. So they weren't stopping it. They were just prolonging
No,
the
like the opposite. They were not prolonging it. They were just like hastening the adverse effects of, like, the casualties, because they didn't isolate, and the economy just carried on. Now,
No, I meant
if,
the way the rest of the world did it, ba?
okay,
With the
yeah,
lockdown, the quarantine.
yeah. No, to kind of like back that like theory of mine, you look at all these protests happening in the states and all over the world. Nobody's respecting social distancing or quarantining. N- Do you think they'll all like drop dead like flies because they didn't do it?
But
No,
kaya
but for
din po
sure there was a
mamatay.
surge. Diba Jared,
Exactly.
daghan man,
Yep.
there was a surge in positive cases. What happened when
Yeah.
Jared? Like, last week, daghan kay protests, and then,
Yep. But basically, ang city nagdug measures para more testing kay nag-prepare sila for kanang spike of like contagious um, cases. So I think na we're in the next few weeks, I feel like nanapoy spike na mo dato, but we'll see. So far, stable pa man. Okay, I guess bago ra na-expose. Yeah, I feel like katong symptoms, diba, ningon sa ko, more 2 weeks, either like 2 weeks pa mo gawas or like in between around the time. So
No,
maybe
the life cycle. So if you get
life cycle.
sick, it's usually 2 weeks for viruses. Well, like the flu virus, flu-like viruses.
Yeah, bago ra naman ang protest. So I feel like we'll see what happens.
so
Yung around kami-
this is the interesting thing here, no? This is what I want, what I'm kind of curious about. So now, because of the coronavirus, so of course the coronavirus is there, and then now you have these governments attempting to control their population, right? Now in the US, there's different forms of control. Here in the Philippines, there's different forms. Like in the US, there's no way they're shutting down city borders. There's no way, right? Uh, in the Philippines, there was in a way, the ECQ was an attempt to force everybody indoors. So like people were scared to go outside because they might get arrested. No, but that's not exact. I mean, some people did get arrested. So there's an attempt for government to control population, and then you could argue nga that's like dapat lang so that the virus doesn't spread. But then you see what happened with those kids in UP. They were protesting, and in the guise of public safety, I say guys, but maybe it really was their intention. In the guise of public safety, they arrested these kids for protesting that anti-terror bill, whatever. And then now that it's happening now, the terror bill that's happening now, it seems like the interpretation seems like it's a method to control population, to control the people in the country.
Sure.
And it's interesting, because you can also, if government does it, if government is saying, oh, you can't do this, oh, why man, why, okay, freedom of whatever, and then they go, well, public safety, we don't want you to get the virus and you don't want you to spread it to everybody else. And then it's this weird like balance of like, so who is right here, no?
I guess ang bigger goal, di ba, kay public safety. Like, I feel like ang concern na ako di ang enforcement sa law. Like, unsa man kagrabe ang, example, if police ni ipabuhat na nga work extreme, na yung possibility nga extreme kay ang outcome sa kanang may nga na nga situation, I feel like lisod lang siya nga, as you say, Carl, pwede siya may excuse as wag may mo ninog pinadictator nga wag so kinsa na posilon for any excuse niya lawful this siya.
Yeah.
Diba? I hope na line alternatives to like public safety gihapon, but at the same time dili siya necessarily law or sometimes or at least the best practices or something. Ultimately, like ang community man untay mo kan na, diba? Marg mo
Self-police.
exactly like kita as a society man tayo mo watch out for each other, like work together kaya di tama ko na kibata supposedly unsay right or wrong to do or but I don't know.
Malagi, that's why like I'm personally, I want to mention again, I wasn't there, but I'm personally disturbed by these kids are just protesting the law. And if you look at pictures, of course, if you look at pictures is one thing, but like if you look at pictures, they were not, amat sila nagsikit.
Right. Non-violent unya nag-distance pagid sila, di ba?
Yeah, it seems.
Seems
And
like
then,
nagandam sa ng police dito daan. More daghan good case for some reason.
yeah, but that can be very easy to. They're basically sitting in a barracks just waiting to be deployed, diba? So that can be really quick. So
Well, there is this veneer of order that's on the surface, and like speaking from like my experience lang, because like I grew up in the hood so like among silingan is like squatters, and those are the kids that I grew up with. And I remember being like 11, 12 years old. Na there was like some guy got beat up somewhere, and then like the police just grabbed like one of my friends because they didn't know who did it. Now, in a place in society where you have the resources to kind of like if a police harasses you, you could lawyer up and like defend yourself. But in a place where you don't have that, in a situation where you don't have that, then it kind of is very apparent that it's just a veneer of order that we kind of have as a society. That at the end of the day, it's still very like basic like human instincts. When I was talking about this with my friend recently about racism and George Floyd and all what's happening now, I think people are racist because they don't see themselves and the people that they're being racist to. Like, say you're a Filipino guy, and then there's another Filipino guy who committed something, and then you, instead of like being brutal to that guy, you kind of see yourself, you kind of see that guy kind of looks like my dad. That guy kind of looks like my uncle, my friend that I'm familiar with. Now, if you're a different race, then you kind of more distance or detachment into the connection of that human being.
Sure.
Like, you see, like if you're a like brown dude and then you see like a little white kid, yeah, that's a white kid. But if you see like another Filipino kid, that reminds you of like kids from your childhood, and more human connection. And I think that's why like a lot of people are racist, because they don't, yeah, they kind of let the animal instincts like kick in of just like this fear and self-preservation, and then the immediate response is violence, and yeah, shit.
Yeah. I think in terms of familiarity bias, mas
Yeah.
not affinity to things that are familiar. Like kanawang ni more na kay relate, mas empathetic ka. Plus ang police na more kanang authority figure, so nas like kanang more na power kunay against nimo. So another factor, and like pwede ma-abuse. Yawa, pagid kayo more mga consequences, wala yung mga accountability. So it's a fucked up system.
Yeah.
Let's say hello to Jason. What's up, Jay?
Hey Jay, naka-request.
Hey, Tardy.
Ha?
Hey, Tardy.
Sorry.
Nakay pa shoutout, Jay?
No, I'm good.
si Jeremy nagpa-shoutout siya?
To whom?
Ako mga papa. Hello.
Ako ba sa mga utangan? Shout out sa mga utangan, pamayad na mo.
So I love like sorry Jay, you're just gonna have to catch up. Basically, we were talking about like these protests that are happening, but
Yeah, good.
and then so I love Malcolm Gladwell. He's like one of my favorite authors, and he has a podcast. And when this whole George, what's his name, Koy? George
Floyd.
George Floyd thing happened. So he released the podcast. It's an excerpt from his book, and then he's talking about like how to get like how to basically he was talking about like leadership and how to get people to follow. And one of the basic tenets that is that every parent kinda knows, instinctively knows. Every good parent anyway. You have to be fair. It has to be fair. So you cannot like you cannot like one child cannot have you cannot I'm lacking the words here. The one child, you cannot favor one child over the other, so it has to be fair, and it has to be predictable. No, so meaning the rule today has to be the same tomorrow, and then the next day, next day, and then they have to feel like they can speak up and be heard. And that's what he was saying, because he was talking about these like I'm gonna butcher it, no, but like these towns in like Ireland or something. So apparently there was this 30-year war. I don't know if you guys know about that. Anyway, and yeah, between the Catholics and Protestants.
Oh yeah, it's a whole other
trouble.
Yeah. So
page in history. Yeah.
So we're kind of seeing that now, like with at least with the Philippine government. I know what it is with in the US, but over the years, it our laws do not feel predictable. Sometimes they do not feel fair. And then now we've seen a case where, like in the case of the protests in UP Cebu, now it doesn't seem like we can speak up and be heard. That's why this is whole discerning, no? And we're talking about Jay Amorag, so like because of the pandemic, it's very easy for governments in general all over the world to use it as an excuse to control their population or their people.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, and I was just talking about how, if you're in one place in society where you have the resources to like defend yourself against unlawful acts, like like unlawful arrests or shit like that, then this is kind of like oh wow, they do this, but like if you grew up, it's a less privileged part of society. It's been happening ever since. Like yeah, but it's karon man good na there's more venue to like see what's actually happening. I think people are just starting to like, oh shit, fuck, this is bad.
Yeah. Do you see any of that in the US, Jer? Like, you guys have like your own different, you know, obviously you guys have a lot different things happening, no? But what's the temp now there where you are? You're in San Francisco.
Yeah, so San Francisco, I guess ang vibe kay more I guess ang naka-unique sa San Francisco, more daghan active gid kay ang city in terms of like protests. So like more importante kay sa city nga mga issues nga mga social justice. So of course na protest sa kuan pag Wednesday. They can nag-march ana unya kuan kanang ang mayor nag-oppose sa nitabo ana. Luckily so far sa San Francisco dili kaya naka-violent ang mga protest, but tungod sa mga gipang gentrify nga lugar nga mahal na kayo ang city nga tanan murag mga tao nga di ka afford gi-move na to Oakland, yeah, or kanang there's like tungod ana or di kay siya gubot, but at the same time sad siya kay mga tao nga affected sa kon kay wa na diri.
You're in an upper class neighborhood, right?
Ang Tibok City, I think.
Oh, city.
Yeah.
There's so many homeless people though. For like that's what blows my mind about San Francisco, Judd. Okay, San Francisco is just like the utopia of the left. like it's so open, so tolerant. You can be as gay as you want. You can look however you want. But then they're also very like ang kanang charity system. Grabe sa gayo that I don't know if it's true, but like states are basically shipping their homeless people to San Francisco because they have more like welfare, because it's like privately funded by like Twitter and Facebook and all Google, all these like giant like tech companies that are based there.
Yeah, wow. Seriously, like kumato ka sa downtown, like tan neighborhoods, okay ra, or makating 1 point sa downtown like Tenderloin, more I guess Manila, right? Or
yeah,
slums,
you see like needles on the street, like heroin needles.
Yeah.
No?
But rent is cheap, I heard, kind of area.
It is very cheap. Jeremie ko, or wala ka dito, but dire sa gabi, okay naman.
I can imagine Mel walking there, just like holding your arm, just walking as fast as you can.
Strong man.
I remember first time ko nabot sa city, gikan sa San Jose, nag-train ko. Abot ko, nagawag ako sa train kay sugod mo sketchy na yung part sa kuan, ignawag nimo. Nagkikig more mga tao, I guess more high to whatever, nakinay kay mga lakaw, or homeless kita naon. Like, asa man ko? Ya paglakaw na ko a few blocks later kitawag ka ng kuan bitaw. Na tao nga half naked siya, margo siya pants.
Lower half.
Gidol siya police. Yeah, pagduol sa police, pagduol niya, nalibang din siya.
Oh my God.
Yes.
No, but that's like kanang
I'm home.
when we were in the US, Jer, I think we were on our way. I can't remember now, but when we took a train one time somewhere there, I think might have been on our way to you guys actually. I'm not sure. And yeah, there was like a homeless person good in the train, and like
Isa ra kita?
yeah, no, but like kanang he did not smell good, man. Like kanang people were. I don't know what he was doing, but like
It was not good.
Yeah.
Yung energy ba yang gibutan siyang personality, wala sa yang smell.
Hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wala sa yang hygiene.
Na may ibang tao na Carl, di ba? Natural smell.
Okay.
Johnny Depp doesn't wear deodorant.
Weird fact.
McCoy knows this for a fact.
All natural.
Carl, I was talking to Blue about Chicago. Kasi diba, regarding the riots, medyo, I think, kind of violent in Chicago. And he was saying a block from where they live, he could hear gunshots and sirens and shit. Like, I don't know where exactly he is in Chicago. Diba? Kasi I asked him by how you guys doing, diba? It's wild with the rioting. So yeah, he couldn't sleep well the other night because he could hear gunshots and everything, and he didn't have a gun on him, so he had his shovel, you know.
Yeah, his shovel. I can imagine Blue like, my precious. He's like touching his coins, and then just like.
It's wild because if you look at the news, some areas are like really, really bad. That's why.
Yeah.
Wait,
The
Jared, Koy, you guys don't know about Blue's coins? No? We should everybody listening to this stream should check out what's his
Blue
Instagram,
Hands
Gadi?
Blue
Instagram.
Hands on Instagram.
Blue what?
Blue
Type it,
Hands.
type it.
I-type there, Jay, type.
Yeah.
Sige.
Hans
Blue
coins.
coins.
Yeah, man.
Retired dad endeavor.
Bye.
Middle-aged white man hobby dog.
Yeah, middle-aged white dude, like
He's
perceived.
like a 35-year-old Asian.
You put it in the chat. Here. Ako eh.
Well, people have different tries to assimilate, bay. Saan ni siya?
Yeah, bye. Kuya,
That's
guys,
interesting,
Blue,
Jerna.
bye.
Just going back na kadong confirmation. Was it familiarity bias?
Yeah.
So
Familiarity ba?
issue ba na siya sa tech by? Like, you know, like tech is meant to be like very like
Nah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Weren't we supposed to invite Blue to one of these things, right?
talk about his coins.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That's cool.
I don't know. Well, this happened very very fast, Mago, di ba? Kaning
Yung coin hobby.
no, this stream.
Oh.
Show them his tools. Like he has hardcore tools.
Yeah, bye. He has like 2 metal detectors.
2 fancy detectors and the
He has
shovel.
2
man.
metal detectors.
I want a
couple
photo
of
of Blue in the
shovels.
beach with the metal detector and yeah, kanang sun visor.
Here.
He goes to the park by.
This one.
Look at this fucking tool rack.
Wow.
That's funny, way.
So this is what not having children does to you.
Wait, napagod siya yung logo?
Are we making fun of Blue?
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of Blue. I'm just telling you, Blue has friends. McCoy is making fun of Blue.
This is like a real endeavor.
Yeah.
Like this is like a real hobby.
I believe you.
Like, and he
Right.
knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. Like, look, error of the day. Here's another common but cool-looking mint error: a struck through grease. Like, I don't know what that means.
I follow him. I read his stuff.
I read it, son. I mean, I'm only a little bit making fun of Blue, but
Blue,
it's
if you want to
fun.
be genuinely interested in your hobby.
Yeah, Blue. We should.
But
send
deep
him
down,
a-
I have a heart of a bully.
It's not deep down, but it's all the way up to the top.
It's all over. Like, you know that
It's not
kid.
hidden. It's up
Like,
front.
so
Yeah, I
in school
remember.
now. I'm in
I
university
remember.
now.
Wait,
and
like,
this-
I remember there was at one time we were in a gig and you were like, I used to bully that guy. I feel weird.
and he's a doctor now.
And he's like huge. That guy was a big dude.
Oh yeah, he was huge.
Hindi na kayo save it.
So like I'm in university now, and then we have a classmate. He's one of these guys that are like, "Oh, sir, we have an assignment." Yeah, like, that's one of those guys that where it's just like, I can't explain it, but like very like punchable face.
What?
He does things that like just kind of more, and then I just tell myself, all right. You're not 15 anymore.
Ato siya itag dire, bay. Pwede na
Oh.
ito matag.
But I think it's good. Like, we had this conversation before. I think it's good. Like, if nobody criticizes you, like,
Lahi mo
You just
na-criticize
carry
si
on
bully
being a
ko eh.
dickhead. Yeah, you just carry on being an asshole without
Lahi mo
knowing it.
na-criticize si bullying ko eh. How do you define?
No. Why
How do you criticize?
seen ka nung American Idol, and then they sing like dog shit, and they're so horrible, and then they say, "But my mom told me I was good because there were no bullies to tell them what's up." If not,
Or
then
someone
they
told them they were
they
good.
probably like realize how bad they are and they work on it. But because like the nerf lang sila sa ilang kuan, like people around them, so they just carried on with like their flaws. Somebody has
This is the
to.
most
It's
controversial
horrible.
topic that we've ever talked about.
Yeah, no, he mentioned this before. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
recording.
I know.
And I'm not saying like hurt them or anything. I'm just saying like if
I
somebody's
think that's what you're saying, Koy.
no.
You're encouraging
If
bullying.
somebody's being a little bitch, then somebody should say something about it. Not just kind of like
No
be
comment.
quiet and like let something wrong like proliferate. That's what
That's not
protests are
bullying,
all
man.
about, right?
That's not bullying.
Something wrong with the system.
Standing up.
Yeah, and then you say something
Koy,
about it.
In that case, kay ikaw mo ng system.
McCoy just
You're
said.
the one who's being-
McCoy just said protests are the same as bullying. That's
No.
what he
Yeah,
just
there's a parallel. There's a parallel.
said.
So-
No, because the fucked up system of like cops killing black dudes, it's the retarded kid that like not retarded, but the
Making
bully
a deeper hole.
who's doing something wrong, and then somebody has to say something about it. That's why you post shit on Instagram.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Koy, you are the police in this case.
Hey, that's just an opinion. It's not news.
Well, we're here to criticize you. We're not.
Yeah. There you go. You
Saying
are the
you're
bully
not.
now. See
No.
how that works.
I'm disagreeing. I'm not making fun of you.
But it's way funnier if you made fun of them.
so the protests. Speaking of the sorry Jay, so you were saying like it was really like I cut you off, Magud. You were saying si Blue kay grabe kayo, it's like really
Yeah.
scary good and everything.
Yeah, I just thought to bring it up because I messaged him about it.
Diba we have like a batchmate also in Seattle, si I'm blanking. Fajardo. Si
Fine, yeah. How's it?
Yeah.
Watch it. It's wild there.
Yeah, she was saying she's been posting in our group chat number
See it.
hearing explosions.
Yeah. I saw a few videos. They went to the Washington Monument. There were fires and stuff. I don't know if she was there or he was there.
No, but like she lives there. Like similar to Blue Bang,
Yeah.
like in her home
Within hearing
she's
distance.
here.
Mm-mm.
Kuya lahi sa dang protest nga ra sa US compared to here.
But the racism thing kasi, I feel like it's been, diba, it's really been going on for so long and people think that it's done or parang not everybody, but it's institutionalized. Did you watch a video about how some areas were designated to be specifically for the black people versus I don't know what it's called. What's the term, Jerry?
Redlining.
Redlining, yeah. Did you watch the video about redlining? That's crazy. It's like from back in the day, but it's institutionalized racism. And I think, the people who are most affected by it are just so fed up at this point na when, the shit hit the fan, literally, people just started wilding out. Enough is enough. You'll see even celebrities, diba, parang they're really going to the streets.
Yeah, I feel like
with
Yeah.
cameras on them.
It's the next
unemployment, coronavirus, like ni peak good siya tanan bitaw at one.
Yeah. Basically, tipping point, drummer, that's it. You know what? Screw this. Blah, 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 blah.
Napagid si Trump, sige yo.
Mortgage.
Kuya lagi, this is like it's like all these protests are happening, but at the same time, it's also this like public safety thing. I feel like Jerba, when I listen to the podcast that I listen to so that's my like thermometer for like what people feel like in the US. because it's a lot US based. And yeah, it doesn't seem like people are taking it seriously, no? This coronavirus there. Murag, it's not like here in the Philippines, ba? Nga murag, like I basically work from home now and hardly ever go out.
Yeah,
I work from home even more than I used to work from home.
It really depends on like sa state, but yeah, at the same time, they demand strong leadership and guidance from like federal level. So more, every state was left to like figure it out by themselves. So more, muna di siya apparent unsa ka sayon to prevent or unsa to ka kadali ma-contain paguna. So it's kind of depende ra mo may klaro direction.
That's kind of what's happening
weird.
here. Diba?
No, but here people seem to take it, more seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not so much anymore.
or I don't know.
Ever since the
think so?
GCQ, when the IATF transitioned from ECQ to GCQ, traffic na in different cities, people are acting like more like they've accepted.
No, but traffic. The traffic is one thing. No, because here, look, once we start the GCQ in the Philippines, for sure there's going to be more positive cases, just because people are out. But
Yeah.
there is mo good an economical factor for that. Like, people need to feed themselves.
Yeah.
So
Balance.
that's why people are out. Yeah, actually for me, like, if you see traffic, that's not really a gauge, ba? Like, what, like, nobody's getting you're not getting the coronavirus because you're stuck in traffic. You're getting it if you have like these mass gatherings.
No, but
No?
more traffic means more people are going out, going to the
For
malls.
sure.
That's That's the transition I'm talking about. I was driving to the bank yesterday. I saw a line in Macau Imperial Tea. Like, bloody hell, man. Diba?
What's that? What's Macau Imperial Tea?
Milk tea
Boba.
ba? It's like,
Oh,
it's a sikat milk tea place and people kaya really? Is it fucking milk tea that important? Do you need to do that now? Do you need to fall in line close to other people to buy your stupid milk tea? I'm sorry. I'm gonna get... No, but I mean, let's be real.
I think
Milk
si Makoy yung pinaka-lucky.
yeah,
Diba?
Macau is super lucky. I mean, look at that head of hair of his, man.
Yeah.
That guy.
That's...
It's
Yeah,
from New
just-
Zealand, right?
There's something I have to. There's something that's been weighing on me for this past 2 weeks since we last spoke. It's he who should not be mentioned's perception of people from the country where everything's made.
What?
Somebody doesn't like people from China that much. We're not gonna say who.
Oh.
It's been weighing on me for 2 weeks. All right, so say
Do you
know-
know this person?
Yeah,
like fucking Jer's Chinese. Anyway,
There is Filipino. There is not Chinese.
all right.
I'm half.
Yeah. So say the corona didn't originate from China, right? Say it originated from Mindanao. That's for a thought experiment. It originated from Mindanao. And then you and your family go on a vacation to Japan or Germany or whatever. And then people go, "Oh, fuck that family because they're Filipino. Corona came from that country." Although you and your family did not have anything to do with, eating a whatever, and then, caused this global pandemic, you're being discriminated against because you have the same skin color and passport as the people who did the wrong thing.
Mm.
It's the same analogy that if your mom was in a car accident, would you care about the race of the doctor and the paramedics that are treating her? No, right? So why do you what's the point of racism if, at the end of the day?
Mo lagi, gubuanga.
Yeah.
Woo!
Wow, nga,
It's been weighing on me. So let that sink in. Let that thought sink in. Because I love you and I don't want you to be racist.
Weird laugh.
Okay. Right. We support McCoy's message.
Yeah. Anyway, I forgot about that.
Not me.
That's a good
Not
one.
him, apparently.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Um, anyway, I don't know. I think we should transition out of that. But
So how's your guys' circumcision?
Kung naka-choice ba eh.
man.
Magpatuloy ka di.
What?
Yeah. If you had a choice.
Di
That's
ba?
a good question.
Yeah, you guys have little boys.
Or unless okay gituloy Jay, okay raman di po mo kuan. No.
What's the
This
question?
doesn't get it.
What's the question?
Circumcisions. What's your take on it?
Done. My son is done.
Oh,
You monster. You mutilated your son?
unsa may religious reason Jay or unsa may kuan?
I would say a mix, mostly traditional, and the fact that I have it and I'm cool with it. So
Sure.
you know, what I mean? I don't see anything wrong with it. He's not dying. He seems alright.
Yeah. I
That's
think
another
I
idea.
mean like sure ang kuan mong good di ba Jay like bata pa siya niya murag maybe unnecessary siya nga ang reason magpatuloy ka di ba kay murag ingon sila na medical reason na pwede ka ng murag religious reason I guess like
Mine is more on nothing to do with religion. I don't see the connection. I mean, I know that there's historical relation, but the reason I did it was not. It was mostly because I'm circumcised. I want my son to be circumcised. Let's freaking do it.
sure.
I was circumcised.
I didn't think we would transition to this conversation.
No, but like, there.
It's a lot less controversial.
Carlo, sorry, it's not the Carlo. Are your boys circumcised?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're
For what
circumcised.
reason? Is it because for what
Ito,
reason?
ano naman Carl, yun naman.
I don't know, guys. Tradition, whatever.
Let's stop talking about children's penises.
You brought it up.
We
No, I asked how your circumcision, not your children's. Jesus Christ.
No, but that's a. I don't know. You guys are acting so mature about it.
No, it's a really good topic. Tunod.
Boys do this. Like,
It's a
oh my
difficult
God,
decision.
about it. You have two sons. You could have done it twice.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
agree.
very normal thing.
Yeah. No, like from a medical standpoint, circumcisions are like you makes less maintenance. Okay, you don't develop the dick cheese around the helmet,
Mm.
the smegma.
so there is a use for it.
Yeah,
I guess
but at the
that's
same time, it's
their health.
yeah, because basically when you piss and then there's a bit of a block there that some of your piss like stays on the side basically.
That's why I did it, by cleanliness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
less maintenance.
When you have
Yeah,
a
you
son,
can feel like every time you shower, you
Why,
squeak
I have to clean three penises a day. 3 penises a day. It's not easy, but it's a job that has to get done.
gosh.
Okay, somebody has to do it.
Preach.
Preach. Boomba club.
Bumbak.
I can't have like unnecessary pieces of dirt in there. You know.
Yes.
Is it too late to take this down? I don't want to be in a podcast where people are talking about little children's penises.
McCoy started. I think it was just me and McCoy pa ba? Jerry was a bit late also, and yeah. McCoy's like when he goes on a date na, he's gonna put the first two things out of there, like I'm not a rapist, I'm not a pedophile. Yeah, that's how he starts the date.
How does it
Started
work?
on a good note.
How does it work?
Yeah, we're talking about setting the bar low, and that's a good strategy for any
Oh, yeah.
business, for anything. But if you do something average, it accentuates it. I'm like, oh,
Muna siya gagbong sa una sa akong mga klase, di ba?
okay.
Na, nakapasa ako high school. Yes, di ba?
Oh, grabe, bright na ni mo doon, eh. It's
Yes,
a
what
theory of relativity, diba? Everything is relative, man, bay. There's no such thing as like this and that, diba? Relative, man.
Oh, you know what?
Like,
Anchoring.
we're giants to an ant, but like to an atom, like the ant's massive.
Mo gyud.
I had this thought. It's a bit, it's not serious, but like there was a case here. Now there's this chick from England who went on the Tinder date, and then basically the guy killed her in the hotel room, and then chopped her up, and then threw her. Yeah, and then threw her. What's her name? I forgot. Anyway, if you look at it, New Zealand Tinder date, like murder or whatever, and like. In New Zealand, yeah, which is in New Zealand, like that's big news. Like that doesn't happen here, Like the crime rate here is really low. So when something heinous like that happens, it's big news. And I was watching that news. I just thought about at that time, I was like, man, how good does my girlfriend have it? Like some guy out there, it's like cutting off women, killing them, and then. I just don't cook and I play video games. That's it. Those are my two flaws. I was like, God damn. Well, in comparison, relative.
I see.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and you are boyfriend of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What a strategy.
What a strategy.
No, but yeah, okay, I'll be honest. I used to think that before, in a way. Okay, like there was I don't know, Jay, when we were our generation, ba?
Yeah.
Like when we were growing up, pre-internet.
Yeah.
And then guys just used to talk about all the girls they were when we were really really young.
Yeah.
Kuya kay na siya ba kay chicks boy kay na siya. Kay daghan kay na siya chicks. Kaya na ba? And there used to be putting certain guys on a pedestal okay, daghan sila chicks. Kunuhay. Ana. And then so when I got a girlfriend, I'm like, you know what? The if most guys get a lot of chicks, I just stick to one girl and I'm doing a good job.
I'm not
the bare minimum.
Yeah.
That's true though.
Yeah, definitely. Growing up sa atoang culture, sa Filipino culture, kanang medyo glorify ang your ability to get chicks. I remember being 14 and hanging out with sila Marcus and sila Marvin, and they talk about their sexual experience, and yet at that time, you're like, why am I not having sex like my friends?
How old were you, Koy?
14.
Yeah, we were so kami Makoy and Jason Jer. We used we used to go out with some of the older folks, our older friends. And then we'd go to bars and kanang we were mid high school, what was it?
Bar?
Second year.
The village.
Paddy's Point. Country Mall.
Diba the village?
The village.
Yeah, the village.
Waterfront. There are those two bars there.
I didn't go as often as you, siguro.
I feel like I was.
My vivid memory of Marcos was in the village specifically, not so much the other places.
Yeah, I went. Kami Makoy. Kami Makoy went out a lot also. Early high school.
Unsa may more goal ninyo ato? Maggawas-gawas.
Meet chicks. Meet girls. Yeah, but no, there was no No, like that was the goal. I mean, 90% of the time, nothing happened. We didn't even talk to them.
It was very
You know?
sad.
Yeah, those.
Upakit
Those
lang,
guys
yan
like those guys like when you go to a bar and then you see them in the corner of the bar and then they're just drinking and then they're just like looking around. Yeah, bro, chicks can, storya ba, storya, storya lagi, storya lagi, and then like nothing really happens.
Sure ko, wala siya uyab.
Boy, yeah, siyang hurry. So
Those were the days, bye.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, there are one or two or three encounters that will not be discussed here. But
But yeah.
There's so many. There's so many in my head.
Oh,
yeah?
Yeah, but like it's thinking back, yeah, it's kind of funny how like at that age, how if like pussy was like a stock price, grabe ka siya value.
Oh,
You
good
know?
man.
Like as you get older and you realize that it's more than just like it's more than just tits and asses. Like you realize, oh, that's a person that you're dealing with.
Ang sa kadugay naka-realize na ako.
Yeah, Koy, what age did you realize this?
A couple of days ago,
Oh, okay.
at a tender age of 35.
Tender age.
Oh my God, there's more to this. So it's a whole person.
Yeah, but like it's so interesting how like like I just think back on how many dumb things like guys do just to like get girls, get laid, and like, oh man, you could have like I'm pretty sure like we could have solved cancer if that wasn't the case, if ego and all this like basal desires were not in the mix, like
But
what
diba,
we could
like,
accomplish.
Diba, like you could argue nga murag, so humans, we're basically our instinct is to reproduce, no? And then so the younger you are, that instinct is just like, well, at a
Stronger.
certain point anyway. Yeah, like it's really, really, really strong. And
2-year-old.
No. Like at a certain like teenager, there's a certain point, and like when you're a
The
teenager,
hormonal age.
yeah, where like your logic goes out the window. Like
Yeah, definitely.
like I know for certain that I've done stupid things, for that, which we will also not discuss here. But
Man, I
You know.
can't wait for your kids to be teens, bye.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that's a good time.
That I consider myself like lucky in a way to have survived that time in my life, and I think to some degree, I'm looking at Jason. Honestly, I think to some degree we can all agree
Yeah, no.
how lucky we are.
Yeah.
I share the same sentiment, and I'm so glad I'm where I'm at now. You know what I mean? So I'm with Carl on that. We survived it. We moved past it. Now we're in a spot where this is kind of where we want to be.
Yeah. Me and Jason were talking about that when I was in Manila, about how it's not really, it's all about having a healthy routine. Like that's what he has now. He wakes up and looks after his family. He makes a living and then goes back home, looks after his family some more. And that healthy routine, basically, he's not in trouble. He's not like getting drunk in public or anything like that, because you have that healthy routine.
Okay.
And like the same, if you don't have kids, if you like wake up in the morning, if you exercise, if you don't, you don't
who
put
I'm-
yourself in weird situations.
You know who I'm curious about? I'm curious
Who?
about Jeremie. We don't know anything about
Jared doesn't share.
Jeremie's like stupid years.
What?
He doesn't
No?
share.
Okay, wait. Pwede na, kuhan. Pwede na.
We,
I
we have
plead
like
the fifth.
we have like snippets of his past catching up to him, and then then he just like disappears then.
That's na ba? Just go on, kaibigan, just cut it out. Just stop doing it.
Stop.
So vague. That's so vague.
Classic
That's
Jer.
there.
But do you guys have that? All right. So I have this like thought, right? That sometimes more, when you like think back on something dumb you really did when you were younger, and you just cringe at yourself, and you're like, ugh. Like you
Sure.
think back about something really stupid that you said in front of someone, and then you have a flashback of that memory, and you're like, ugh, that's embarrassing. Those like recurring thoughts, or is it just me?
All the time.
Happens,
Yeah.
right?
But like I kind of like learned over time to kind of like forgive myself for the like things that I did wrong back then, and not like just carry on torture yourself for being not perfect as a human being.
I think that's what happens when you get older, by.
Hmm.
We're at this age where like we have we we're at this age where like you have the wisdom to do stuff, but like you just don't have the energy to do like the things that you want to do. Kadang,
Mm.
or like you feel like it's important, no? Like going back to the protests, like I honestly don't feel strong enough to go out on the street and and protest like the terror bill, for example. But like I can share it on my Facebook page, like but like we need these kids to
Do what they're doing.
yeah. And yeah, going back to them go. There was one. So I don't know how true this is. So there was a guy going back to those protests. So there's like a video being shared around of like one of the students getting caught by the cops. Like she's literally in the back of the truck. She's like, "I know my rights," and then she's getting pulled in, and then the truck drives away. The guy taking the video. So he took the video. I think he posted it. Then he goes to the cops. He goes, "What's happening here?" And he gets caught also.
Huh?
So they
Oh.
also bring him to the precinct. So it's
What?
literally on his like wherever he shared it, Twitter or whatever. It's the video. Mo ni ako naabtan in the protest. Mo ni ako naabtan, and yeah, gipada. Then he goes, update, gikuha sad ko. And then
Muna
So-
akong naptan, muna akong journey pa doon sa police
yeah,
station.
and then like update, they got me too. Kaya ba? And then like what?
May,
Bye. Kanang,
ano ba eh? Plot
so
twist.
diba there's like, so I don't know if you guys, there's like Save the Cebu 7 or something.
Release the Cebu 7.
Release Cebu 7. And then now it's like Cebu 8 DI. Because of that guy who took the video.
Nadamay.
It's so crazy. I mean, it's funny. We're laughing about it, but it's so crazy if you think about it, right?
Insane.
Right?
Yeah.
So-
Like,
So kinsa
How
ra kini
can-
dapat may?
yeah, how can that happen? And then it's so ironic nga the protest is about the terror bill. And then what's happening right now is basically what they were protesting about.
Yes.
Hmm.
No, but initially they were saying they got arrested for violating the mass gatherings.
Oh,
Diba? But if you look at the pictures, they're spaced like 1.5 meters apart. And you look at the picture of the cops, like sikit-sikit ang mga police with shields. It's so ridiculous.
yeah. There's an iconic. I think it's iconic na for me. This guy, his name's Fidel. He was in our gig. He was in our Rescue Hero gig, I think. And then he was in UP, and he took a picture. I don't know if you guys saw that. He took a picture. He's inside UP, so there's gates in between him. So there's like blurred out lines, and then the cops behind, and then one cop in front. Ordering the other cops, and he looks like he's giving the Hail Hitler sign. He looks like he's marching
Share a picture.
with a Hail Hitler. Oh, sige. I'll look for it. It's actually like a really good photo. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I can't. The protest has got like you early on in the lockdown, you could see like snippets of why I'm kind of alarmed because like people posting on their Facebook page, na like kanang like that guy who got caught, na murag, I'll if somebody kills Duterte Kodoy, he will give him 10 million pesos. Like clearly
What?
satire and
Yeah.
parody. And then this guy who posted it on his Facebook page got caught by the police. He was brought in by the police.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't think like even though you're joking, like, well, you kind
Okay,
of
so
have to
that one,
you kind of have to set a precedent that this is a joke, that this is a comedy show, or this is satire.
yeah.
You can't just say it
No,
and then like when you get caught, you're like, oh, that was a joke. Sorry. You can't just go like, I'm gonna murder someone and then like, jokes, kidding.
I feel like ang kulang na to kay Morg ang like intent. Di ba like dire ka ng mga entrapment dire, like example na slay sugon or kita ko sa mga crime shows all the time nga ako ni siyang gisog patay but unyara sa madakpan pag nanay Morg exchange of money nga Morg Morg ba nga Morg padayunon gid nila or kana. Maybe unang naka Morg weird pa na pa tong situation nga nag-post pa siya og kon. But I do agree nga Morg extreme pag kay ang post. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Na siya.
that's why like I didn't think too much about it initially. Kay, oops. Am I still online?
Yes.
Okay. That's why I didn't think my computer kind of froze. That's why I didn't think too much about it initially because like it's a very extreme post, diba? So like I was like, okay, like there's an argument to be made ba. And then there was another version of that another person got caught. I don't know exactly what. But then that it's teetering on that line of like, is this acceptable behavior by our government or not?
Mm.
Man, I think my computer cannot handle streaming and
How do I share
Looking
screen? Are you seeing my screen?
No, just
You have to-
seeing you.
you have to share it. I might have to share it. You click share screen, but I might have to share it. But like my Google Chrome froze, so
Can you see my screen?
No.
I think they dropped us, Carlo.
Can you see my screen? Wala. I don't know how to
Wala
share
din.
screen.
No. Di ba na share screen na kwan sa ubos?
I have no idea how to share screen. Would you believe? It
Oh,
says
I can see it na Jace. Midget porn. Oh, okay.
Oh, bito halo to yun.
it says StreamYard is sharing your screen, but you guys don't see it. I don't get it. Screen. Carlos, stop
Wow,
moving.
that was a low hanging fruit.
Jay, start Jay. Kita ka sa button, guess what? Share screen.
Yeah, it says it's sharing.
Okay.
Maybe si
But
Carlo
Carlos-
mo kon.
Carlos, not moving.
Yeah, akong duda si Carlo may mo approve siguro kung sa imong i-share. Siya may,
Share screen, easiest.
Does he have to approve it?
I don't know. Ako nag-share ko sa screen, makita mo?
No.
Well, na button sa ubos.
Yeah, that's
Sa-
right.
Well, okay.
It says here, StreamYard.com is sharing your screen, but Jer's gone. Koy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Kita na nabilin.
Okay. Hang on, I'm trying to share screen. Never mind. You guys can do it. I don't want to share.
I think we need Carlos' permission to share the screen.
Okay, because he's the dungeon master.
Oh shit! By when are we gonna do freaking?
To be honest, this is finals month for me, and like, I'm studying.
When did you start? Finals already?
Yeah, I'm graduating in July. Considering I don't fail this month.
Paspasa good.
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, it's been a year. Look at this book. Look how thick my book is.
Oh damn!
I have to know this by heart, by law.
Yesterday, I just learned about volts and currents and the importance of. Diba? Do you learn that? Is that part of you?
Yeah, it's basically what I'm studying. Yeah.
The volt is the water pressure. The current is the flow rate. Is that correct?
No. So the volt is the amount of water. Say you have a swimming pool.
Yeah.
The amount of water is the voltage.
Okay.
If I throw you in the swimming pool, you don't actually die. You can just swim out.
Okay.
What are you doing? The
Carlo, feedback. Carlo, feedback.
Carlo.
feedback, bro.
Carlo.
Wait, sorry.
Carlo.
Carlo.
So
Carlo froze again. Sige, go, Jer. Koi.
So
Sorry.
the voltage is the amount of water in the water tank.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, it's a swimming pool. Swimming pool gapon ng analogy.
Okay, yeah. O swimming pool or water tank. Sa tangki sa tubig ba?
Okay.
Anya.
Thank you, Stubik. Okay.
Onya, ang resistance is the size of the tube.
Yes.
So obviously, the smaller your tube is, mas kusog ang pressure. Now the amount of pressure is the current. That's the current. The current kind of amperes. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I was looking for a charger for one of my devices, and I was reading the importance of ideally at least matching the voltage. And it's okay as long as you have the correct voltage. It's okay to have a stronger ampere output than the input, diba? Sakto ba?
What do you mean input?
So diba, those bricks, they have different outputs.
Mm-hmm.
So the device I needed to charge something was 5 volts at 500 milliamperes.
Yeah.
The brick was 5 volts and then 1000 milliamperes.
Yeah.
That's okay, diba? It's okay to have higher output because it won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah, as long as you don't overload it. But the problem is, it'll take you ages to charge it.
higher
You're not putting it in the right.
input. So okay, ra.
Yeah, okay.
That's more than enough. Diba?
Yeah, so if
Basically,
you're saying that if you're using a different charger, not the charger that's like meant for your phone, but the charger doesn't give as much like amperes or current to the device, that's fine. But it will not. It'll take you a while to charge it.
But it cannot be higher voltage. But that's the scary thing. That's the
No. So basically, the voltage is the amount of water.
That's
So
right.
voltage is like consistent in your power socket. So I think sa Philippines is 240 volts.
220?
Or 220, sorry. Yeah. So 220. So it would really depend on the size of your resistance or the size of your tubing, di ba? Pila ang imong power current na i-kuan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one, Carl.
That's a good photo.
Damn.
Jesus.
How come we can't actually share, Carl? Do you have to
Yeah,
accept?
you can share. Yeah, I have to accept. My Google Chrome basically hung for like the whole time that you guys were talking.
Can you see my screen?
There's
I don't see it.
there. This is
Okay.
I have to click it. So that's
Wait,
your screen.
There's the other one I wanted to show you. The one with the social distancing people.
Share just you're sharing both. Share just one. Oh yeah, that one lagi.
Diba? These are the protesters, and then this is
Yeah, but the thing for me with photos ba, it can be, I don't trust the photos so well because they can be totally different points in time. Like we don't know if the protesters were socially distancing themselves the whole time, for example. We don't know that. It's
also true.
diba? Yeah. So but kana like it's this argument of being public safety or the right to protest. That's the
Do you guys think that this the whole outrage with regards to George Floyd will change anything?
we can be
know,
I
optimistic.
hope by.
yeah. See, Jer would be the one. You should speak about that. It's
But
like
no,
here-
in a global sense, ba? In a global sense, na like America's kind of burning at the moment because of that one injustice. Well, amongst other, that was just the camel that the straw that broke the camel's back, basically. Okay, it's been happening. But do you think this outrage, the protest will change anything?
Jer, I here in the Philippines, I don't think we're not.
We have our own shit to deal with.
Yeah, it's different things, but the same, like it's not racism, it's classism. So but
Yeah.
we don't. I i think, Jerry, you're the best person because you're right there.
Uh, well, muna ang goal, I guess, karon sa mga tao nga nag-spread og kanang mga Black Lives Matter nga hashtag kanang na awareness unya attached sa awareness kay na murag kanang action nga like mas dapat mo educate kung kinsa yung gi-vote unsa ilang gi-support niya mo napoy mga actions nga mo donate to kanang defunding like police or making sure nga ang funds padulong sa saktong lugar, helping families, helping many communities. But muna ang worry gid nga after like let's say after a few months mobalik ra gyapon tanan kay humana ang issue. So like dapat na sustained nga kanang commitment o reminders nga dapat move forward tadto. So I don't know. It lisod kay without like it change nimo ang system, pero ang hope kay tungod aning movement plus like social media na imitabo. I don't know.
Is there
Doing my
is there
best to help.
a thing they're asking for, Jer, other than justice? Because lately it's about justice for George Floyd, diba? But on a bigger scale, what is it that they're asking for that they want the government to do? Like, if you're talking about trying to stop, the whole redlining thing, is that the issue, or because it's a very broad spectrum of racism
Yep.
that affects them in many aspects.
Yep.
Is there like a certain movement na saying we want these things to change in the country? Is there like a master list or like a list of demands, if you will?
So far as ako nakita na may focus siya on like police reform.
Okay, specifically, please.
I feel like muna ang focus at kay mo may nakita sa mga tao, di ba? Hopefully like mo brings just a broader issues nga kung research ang mga tao nga anong muna itabos police, makakita din sila nga mo din itabos sa communities, nga gi-oppress sila sa kadsauna. So hopefully na ay effect downstream. But current tanan focus ang makitaan kay about like police.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, medyo concept siya kay like na movement na duha ka ba ako nakitaan nga push nga solution isa kay i-defund ang police, meaning like kung dito mag-train ko no, i-kuhan ko no, i-balik sila training about like unsa ang pag-handle of mga like cases
crisis negotiation, crisis management.
Nga na po yung ka ng mga sa ano pag-approach og kanang kuan situations can dili immediately escalate, but apparently ang counter na kay sukad sa una nanambi sila nga training but di gyapon siya effective kay tungod ang isa sad ko ka problema kay ang police trade na unions nga kusgan kayo nga lisod kayo sa fire daw sa akong nadunggan, but isa sad na siya ka reform nga gusto na i-update nga accountable na mga police. But na po isa ka movement nga murag nang i-totally abolish yun ang police niya. Murag ang big concern diya kay murag kinsa may tawag nimo kung kuan diba kung may problem, but apparently like dire sa US daw ang police gi-start daw para mo control kuno black neighborhoods sa kadsauna. Gi-start na sila para kuno mo enforce atong redlining, mo enforce atong segregation. So at the very start sa ilang organization, racist dikit sila daan. So dagan sa roots nga bisan maayo bitaw. But ang point ato niya, if i-defund ang police di kuno mo stop, di kuno maka-prevent of crime, mo stop sa crime. Kay di man murag ang crime happen rin gid, di ba? Murag di man siya murag kanang
minority.
Kung na police di ko mag-crime, it's still happening. It's happening every day. Doesn't make sense. So ang solution na kay ilang gipangita unsaon pag kanang manage a society in if one ay police unsaon to pag make sure nga ang communities accountable sa ilang communities around them, yung ma-supported sa government nga dili gubot like same I guess sa arguments sa drugs, di ba? Like drugs kay di man murag kana ilang prevent drugs patyon ng mga tao, di ba? That's more hard solution mo tabo sa Pilipinas karon, but di ba ningon sa more social issue Nganong ga-drugs in the first place, nganong unsa may nahitabo sa ilang pamilya, unsa may tabo nila nga root cause sa problem nga ma-prevent sa future. Ana gyapon argument bitaw. So interesting siya kay ang police karon gitanaw na to as safety kunoy. But in reality karon kay di siya necessarily nga sila mo nagda sa sa safety kay current society mo kay police gitanaw na ko safe man ta.
That's an interesting thing, because I think there must be some European countries where, like the smaller ones, basically they don't have police. Like, no, what we were talking about earlier, like it's the community that manages the norms, and then like norms is a powerful thing. No, like
the sheriff of the Philippines.
No, but like embarrassment, excommunication, those are powerful things in a community. Like, what I found,
sauna, like tribe the sauna.
Yeah, but the thing is, the argument there, it only works when you're like small. The bigger you are.
So Switzerland and the Vatican City have no uniform police.
Oh, really?
Who? What's the other one? Vatican and?
According to what is this? Quora.com. Switzerland and Vatican City have no uniform police.
Okay. Switzerland also allows heroin.
Switzerland crime rate.
Yeah, and then like the drug, there's no drug problem in Switzerland. Like there's so much support to people. Like even if you did heroin, it's legal.
The argument there, like, is it works in smaller communities now. What? Then I don't. It's strange because like what? So is the would you rather have a lot of really small communities, or would you rather one big community? So in our sense, like countries. So like the a version of it, let's say in the Philippines, would be Cebu is its own governing body. Manila is its own governing body.
Isn't that the federal government?
Yeah, federal government. That's what it is, basically.
No, but like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not smart enough.
No, Philippines is a Republican government, man. So you know everything has to come from the say has to come from Malacanang, basically, and then the governor enforces it. It's not like the states, like California you can smoke weed. Even though it's federally illegal.
Actually, you're right, Koy. That's what happened yesterday, I think. So Governor Gwen wanted to allow backriding and motorcycles again for Cebu. So, people can move from one point to another. Because right now, that's not allowed. And then when she allowed it, I think Duterte basically said, no, she can't do that.
Yeah.
So, because his thinking was, if he allows it for her, then he has to. There are going to be all other provinces who will want to do the same thing. I don't know, man. Like
saan na pag-run nga. I'm sure na yung mga tao naka-figure out na. I don't know if na right answer, di ba? Like even sa like large companies. Kag policy nga ma-apply sa tanan but naginay edge cases or naginay cases nga exceptions sa imong rule. Which dapat nimo i-account yapon. I guess mo nang kung maghimo kag law or something dapat ma-account nimo ang kaning mga like unsawang pag apply sa different use cases. Which is like I'm the lawyer. Muna trabaho Jeros, di ba?
There's a really interesting because a week ago I was hanging out with my friend. He's a physicist. We talked. I asked him about like like Newton's law, Isaac Newton's law, the basic laws of physics that we follow. So every action there's an opposite equal and opposite reaction, and then if an object is moving and there's no like nothing stops it, it'll just carry on moving.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the basic principles of physics that we follow on a daily basis on our everyday lives. But apparently, as objects get smaller, those night deviations sa laws of sa kanang Newton's law doesn't apply to. So now they have to have new theories And it's crazy how, like, it basically from there you realize that, okay, on a certain scale, a certain law of physics is applicable, pero it doesn't when you start to go to like the deviations when it gets smaller. I think it works. There's a parallel of that with like society said na, like policing. Like no police sounds like a good idea, and we just kind of thing. But as a society gets bigger and gets more difficult to manage, like ang deviation ba.
It's tough, right? Like
Yeah, like I know for me personally, like I have no interest. For example, that's a big reason why I have no interest in like uh, creating a big company or joining a big company. Like it just adds too much. Like I can imagine what it must be like we're having this pandemic right now, and then all these businesses have had to change in one way or another, and you're in charge of like, let's say you had a business of like 400 people. Oh, let's say like let's say Pahes Holdings, they have 1,000 plus employees, no? Uh, and I can't imagine what kind of stress or what kind of decisions si Bunny Pahes has to make for all of those employees. And he had to basically pause everything for 2 months, and then after that pause, he had to figure out, okay, where are we going from here? And I'm sure there were a lot of hard decisions to make. Like you can't just, you know, I mean, if you're in charge of 1,000 people, I can't imagine. Like it takes a certain type of person to be able to do that. No,
Mm.
and
yeah, gotta think in systems, right? Gotta think in like implications on that. So
That's what I always
productiveness.
found about big corporations. Because I've worked in them, and it seems that every year the targets for profit always increases, and
which I think is a mistake.
Sure.
it's a mistake. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah,
because
growth for
you're
growth's sake
assuming
is
that
not a good thing.
you're assuming that the market will just make space for your targets instead of like what's weird to me is that instead of like fixing the inefficiencies in the system, they would rather just make more money to make up for those inefficiencies. And then in saying that, in those inefficiencies, it's not necessarily something na more administrative. It's more like people's egos and the politics, because at the end of the day it's just a group of people working together. It's we might write like laws and bills and shit like that, but at the end of the day, it's if you just approach everything pragmatically, like everybody has the same, like everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants to have food on their table, roof on their head, and then be safe, and then like just be okay at the end of the day. But
And
then
then
yeah,
no, what I realized is when you just want those things, it really doesn't take much. Like
much.
you
Yeah,
don't need
exactly. You don't
a
need to
lot
like
for
hike up
that
your
to
targets
happen.
every year. Yeah.
I think that's like these big corporations. I know some of us work for big corporations, no, but
No,
um, I yeah, but like growth for growth's sake, I think is there has to be a reason for it. But I feel
Mm.
no,
yeah. I think sa
um,
if imong company kay beholden by stakeholders, dapat ka like
kana
That's a
kuwan.
different story.
So of course nakay obligation to the market nga mag-present og numbers ng saka, di ba? So muna incentive ninyo nga mo
Nice.
deliver. So based on muna yung motivations in yung company, ang tanan production kay dapat dedicated na do. Which is like ang mga dagko nga company, sure na mamay nga company nga maka focus on quality first niya, mo believes lang nga mo balik tungod sa quality di na mo saka ang growth, but nabay uban nga mo focus na gid sa numbers nga himo tani nga products para lang mo dako, which is like annoying.
I think that's actually a problem. Like I feel
Yeah.
like if any company like once they like have an IPO, for example, and they're in the stock market, and then they have a bunch of people like you and me basically say, hey, we need this price to go up.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a problem. Like, it's very hard for. There are certain companies that I guess, Murag, you need to become bigger. No, this
Sure.
might be a bad example, but let's say Amazon, for example, like for them to do the work that they are doing, it probably makes sense for them to be as big as possible.
Right,
No,
to scale, like global reach, and that, so they need all like.
Have a lot of unhappy workers. Aren't they like unionizing? Or Amazon has no union. Sakto ba?
no, but that's a part of the consequence of becoming
Yeah, right.
really big. Like
They're going
if you have
over everything.
yeah, let's say you have a company with 100 people and 1% is unhappy. That's one person. Who gives a shit? Fire that guy. you know? But if you have a company of like like 100,000 people. No, but like just an example, ba? But like if you have a company of 100,000 people and 1% are unhappy, that's 1,000 people.
And I'm the bully, motherfucker.
Yeah, but diba?
Yeah.
There's a problem when you have like bigger. That's what like I really like what's that company's name? 37 Signals, but not Jer. The one who wrote Remote, Rework.
Fuck.
I forgot the guy's name.
Yeah, some base camp guy.
Yeah, the Basecamp guy, like Jason Fried. Oh, yeah, they're just making good products, having a good like work environment, just
Yeah.
chugging along.
What's their product like?
Basecamp?
What do they make? Climbing gear?
No.
Management software.
Software.
Yeah.
Basecamp over Everest ba?
Yeah, most gusto ko nga na ba? Someday. Diba? Like mission driven, small, not necessarily small, but at least like kanang enough nga maka ila pa ka sa mga tao sa company.
Yeah, like their story, Jay, is so they started at Basecamp, and yeah, somewhere along the way, they actually got what's the Amazon guy? What's his name?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos to invest in them, but he basically invested without really, like I don't care what happens. He basically gave them money because he likes what they're doing.
Yeah.
But they're profitable. They're a profitable company, but profits don't. They don't. That's not the gauge of their success. No.
Yeah.
They have a lot of like books, Remote, Rework, good books actually. Like Remote right now would probably be a very important book for a lot of people handling companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos is a really fascinating like human being to me, because if you told me that all I had to do to not lose $70 billion is keep my dick to myself and my wife, I would. That guy did not. That's why like that guy blows my mind. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I don't think money is a motivating factor. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know him, but
Yeah.
like I don't think money is exactly a motivating factor now. Isn't he like well on his way to being the first trillionaire in the world or something?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I suppose like if you believe you don't, that money is like, oh, I can just make that again. Like, yeah, that's a weird thing too, because I've been thinking about like wealth and consequences. Okay, think about you getting a traffic ticket, right? Like how much would it be? Like 1,000 pesos or something,
Sure.
Like it's bad, but it doesn't really affect your life. Like you can just pay it off, basically. It's a hassle for a little bit, but it doesn't change your life drastically or anything like that. Now I believe it scales up with wealth. So you might like hit a dog with your car. Like, you have enough money to pay for the dog or whatever. Send the dog to the hospital, and then it scales up with like, and that's why you see all these people who do like weird shit, like like
The more money they have.
the more money you have, the more like not freedom, but you can pay off a lot of shit.
yeah, especially like if in a society nga valued ang money kayo, di ba? So dagan ka get away with. I feel like
Yeah. That's why I'm very hesitant to be rich because like I don't know if I'm gonna be a good person if I have like $1 trillion.
no,
Yeah.
it's to be rich. Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to be rich. Like I might just like go like because like you're kind of confined within your limitations, man, diba? Like
It's also relative, right? And so
yeah, exactly.
What is rich?
Yeah, exactly. Like like I don't buy a Ferrari now because I can't afford it. But like who knows? If I have $1 trillion, I might.
Mm.
If you have a
Yeah.
trillion, if money wasn't an object, you could just do whatever you want. Like there would be like so
Not a
many
Ferrari.
things.
Not a Ferrari.
If I'd probably buy one, just to drive it.
$1 trillion.
Yeah, but you know what
Yeah,
I mean.
like
Like,
if it
but
if
I
it's like
also learned something
1% of my
300,
of what I'm earning.
Yeah, man.
like and that's so true. Like like when I moved to New Zealand, I was in debt. I had nothing. I was broke. I was eating noodles and chicken nuggets. Working like a minimum wage job, 20 hours a week. My one celebration was like takeaway night once a week. Like, and then like I got a job and I got my footing back. And then like, in theory, if I just ate noodles, if I just lived that lifestyle, I'd be way better off. I'd save so much money, but I don't. It scales up. Your lifestyle adjusts to your income. Like
But
you don't.
actually,
Yeah.
Oh, gone. I was about to
no,
say.
but I feel like that's a secret to
Happiness.
saving money. Is don't no like if you want to save money, is don't don't make your lifestyle match your income. Like I know, at least for me, as much as possible, like I try not to. If I earn a little more money, I try to just keep my lifestyle basically the same. In fact, over the years, my lifestyle has gone down because I don't need a car anymore. So I sold it. No, but I do have two kids, which eats up on that income quite a bit.
Sizable.
Bay, butang yung sidecar imong bike pag tricycad.
Huh? It's okay. We still have a car. My wife still drives.
Solutions based. But no. It's yeah, like we're Jeff Bezos. But yeah, like it's just interesting how like the amount like your wealth scales up and how the things as a human as you are like like if you put a cookie in front of a kid, the kid will eat it, and that doesn't really
Not-
change.
Not true. You know what?
Uh,
Have you Jay, have you been seeing this? Kind of that
marshmallows?
no, Jared probably knows about this also, or maybe even you know that there's a test that these people did. Like they put a sweet in front of a kid.
If you don't eat it,
And
there's
then-
a reward, something like that.
Yeah. So Koi, this is like a test. So what they did is they put a kid in a room. They put like a donut or whatever in front of him, and they say, "When I come back, if you didn't eat it, I'll give you another donut."
Hmm.
And then so there's no time frame. The kid has no idea when you're coming back, and then they sit there, and it's actually like adorable to watch. You see the kid struggling
Yeah.
to not eat it, or like eats it or whatever.
Yeah,
No?
yeah. But and I want to say majority of people will eat. Majority of people will eat the donut.
You would be surprised how that's not true.
Not
You'd
everyone.
be surprised.
Not everyone, yeah, not everyone. But I want to say majority of people just wants the bigger piece of the pie at the end of the day for themselves, and that's game theory. Everybody.
Oh yeah. No, but yeah.
well, the
What I'm
bigger
saying
piece of
is
pie is
the-
kamukhaon. Nasa duha ka doon.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying
Yeah,
is if
people-
you put if you put a piece of something good in front of people with the promise of something more in the end, you'd be surprised how many people don't eat that good piece right away and are willing to wait for the
Hmm.
bigger payoff.
Yeah, experiment mo na siya sa delayed gratification. Yeah, I feel like nato yung implications like unsa sta ka responsible mo grow up or something.
Yeah. So now, sorry, JR. So there are so many parents who are bored right now that with their kids here in the Philippines, nga, they've just been posting videos of, okay, I put this munchkin in front of my kid, and then there's like a hidden camera, and then they just let the kid sit there, and they're like, don't eat it till I come back. Steph did it yesterday with our two boys. I was like, why? Huh?
Surprise tuloy. Oh, did I?
Mana, that was done as soon as they were born. No?
Yeah, Karen,
But
some
like-
results.
Well, I feel like it's
Do you want
it's
to know?
not-
Are you a good parent?
No, but yeah, I feel like it's basically virtue signaling, like as soon as you
Yeah, I
post
get
that
it.
video.
I
But
get it.
anyway, but I feel like it's also not very accurate because you're supposed to put the kid in an environment it's basically boring, and then they're by themselves. So as soon as you put your kid in a playroom, there's toys all over, so they can just distract themselves really easily. And then also, if they're a sibling, the other sibling can very easily police the other sibling,
Right.
which is like which basically is the version of those two things is basically what happened with our kids. So you'll see like Matty, my youngest, he'll like go near it and his tongue started coming out, and then Mano goes, Matty, don't eat it. And then Matty's like, I'm just looking at it. You know, it's adorable.
That's funny. That's cute.
But yeah, but yeah.
yeah.
So
yeah.
like I wouldn't say going that's necessary. You'd be surprised at the number of people who are willing to delay gratification, basically. But kind of getting a bigger piece of the pie, yeah, of course, game theory.
Yeah, it's a human human like I don't know. It's innate, I think. Like when you're a kid, you're just all ego, and as supposedly the ideal progression of a human being is the older you get, you it's less all about you, and it becomes all about like other stuff in your life or other people. Yeah, some people don't mature in that rate.
Narcissists.
Yeah. Are you guys like excited? Like you mentioned Namurag, you feel lucky that you like got out of that like point in our lives where we kind of went crazy. Do you guys thinking about your kids? Are you excited for them to go through that and like cross your fingers that survive it?
Am I excited?
Excited and scared.
Yeah, or scared. Yeah.
The most we can do is always prepare them for what's to come. For them to get into the shitstorm with a bit of information or a bit of backing from their parents is a lot better than a teenager going into adolescence without any parental or without any guidance. Then you'll have like a higher chance of a wilding out kid as opposed to. But that's our theory, Christy. It's just we'll do our best to prepare them for what's to come. I guess because you can't control them after a certain point. But right now, age is 8. It's easy to tell them what's good and what's not to do, and then for the most part they listen. But then after they get to a certain age, you can only tell them so much, and then they're out in the world and they're on.
Yeah, I think Koy, like at least for me, it's just try to give them the tools to make the right choices.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee that they will make the right choices. Like, as you know, we grew up together. Like, there were many times where I'm sure I've done certain things that in retrospect probably was not a good idea. Diba? So
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just because I don't come from like an ideal family, that there's a part of me that kanang really like rebels against my parents because like I just I didn't actually admire how their upbringing. Like my mom did her best, but like I still kind of monang and until today I find myself doing that. Even to the smallest things. You should do this. No, I'm not gonna do that. Like there's this like rebellious aspects. I don't know because you guys come from like good families. Like are you like oh, I have like a model to I have like a guide, like a model to follow and how to like raise kids and shit.
Well, first thing I'd like to comment on is, I think if you get from a good family or not, I think generally speaking, we are all in one way or another annoyed by our parents. No, so but you know, annoyed at varying degrees. You get what I'm saying? Like I am totally fine with my parents. I remember there was a time where kanang I did not want to be around them good, and then that was when I was younger.
Wala,
Now,
tata.
yeah, now I have a better
Hi,
understanding
Tita.
now that I have kids. You know,
Hmm. No,
Yeah.
no?
someday your kids might
Yeah,
hate
no,
you too, by.
yeah. No,
That's
but
a good.
I'm sure
Yeah, that's a,
the what. Sorry, what I'm hoping for is that my kids one day will kanang kanang be comfortable enough to make fun of me incessantly. You know,
Mm.
and because then I'll be like, okay, so like they have perspective. You know,
Mm.
it's kind of what I do to my parents,
Mm.
basically. Huh?
Yeah.
So
How about you, Jace? What's your take on that? Like upbringing and like rebelling, or is it? Yeah.
pretty much the same, but there are no perfect parents. There are no perfect families. Uh, like I agree with some of the things my parents did. I disagree with a lot of things that they did with me. And when it comes to our kids coming Christy, we're parang, selecting which the ones that I think were good for my childhood, and she picks the ones she thinks were good in her childhood, and then we kind of wing it with the best intentions. I think that's the best way to define it.
Mm.
We're winging parenting with the best intentions, uh, and hope for the best. And we constantly tell them, girls, we're here for you. If you have any questions about anything, talk to us. So I think that's one thing I never really had with my parents, but I never felt really comfortable confiding in them. And I feel like that could have made a difference. I don't know. We'll see. So I want the kids to grow up knowing that they can talk to Kami Christie anytime. I feel like
Yeah.
that's what I would like to add.
now you know what I realized a few years ago.
Mm.
Like my parents had me, I think, in their mid 20s
Okay.
or mid to early 20s.
Mhm.
Okay, and then I know you and me, Jer, like Jay, Jeremy also. Like what, you guys got married like in your 30s, right? No.
Late 20s, 27.
Hmm.
Late.
And then you can still remember what that was like. Like you didn't know shit, right? Like ano ba? And our parents, I don't know you, Jay. I don't know. Might be similar with you too, Jay. No, with your parents, they must have had you or their first baby or their first kid like at like early mid 20s. And
Yeah.
would you know, Jay?
No, because I'm the
Because of Jer.
fourth. I'm
Yeah,
like anak ko ba? They're a bit older
yeah.
when
I
they
know,
had
no,
me.
no, but no, you, but their first kid.
Yeah, yeah. With their,
So and you remember what it was like to be their age?
Wait, Jay,
Can
how
you
old were you when
imagine?
you got when go on?
26, 27 when they had Paige.
Yeah, dude, he's living it.
I'm living at that
Yeah.
with that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Me. I just realized, Kamurag,
27, yeah,
my,
27.
like yeah, my parents did not know. I mean, for sure, huh? I don't know for
Mm.
sure, but for sure they did
They
not
couldn't
know
Google how to
what
raise a
they were
kid.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You
So
know.
that's what I'm
I,
working on with my relationship with not my dad but my mom. Like I'm working on my relationship with her, and she's more of my friend now. Like I really want, like towards the end of whatever this is, like I want her to be more my friend and not this like authority figure.
I
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
it's just healthier. Yeah.
I feel like as a parent, that's all we can hope for once our kids are older.
Yeah.
That they just become our friends. Because
Mm.
at some point, we're not going to be taking care of them. They'll be taking care of themselves. And I think that's what we can hope for, just to have them as friends when they're older.
Mm.
And so that's pretty good, Koy.
Yeah.
In that sense, but like your mom, man.
Yeah,
You know.
I always go because she always like FaceTimes like this. I go, oh,
Oh yeah.
pila naman ako buksuwang. The dumb shit.
So mo na or kita bad example kita ba kay that's how we treat Makoy as a friend. That's how he treats his mom by
Yeah, you assholes. It's your fault, not mine.
Jeez. Some bad examples. Anyway, mukaon sa ko ba? Mag-dinner na ko. Friends
Yeah,
pa
I think
it was good.
This is a good place for us to end. Guys,
Peace
please
out.
subscribe to my YouTube channel because
Good man. Tell me every time I talk to you, I keep saying,
influencers in the world.
pero 1,000
Influencers in the water.
when can you monetize
Yeah,
1,000 subscribers?
1,000. Wala niya akong new job. Mag-YouTuber na ako, bike YouTuber.
Sige, good luck,
Nice.
bye. Good luck.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks, bye. I'm gonna
Subscribe
make
to
it
my
happen.
OnlyFans.
Friends forever. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
See ya.